Hey, good evening, guys. It's me, Messy, with Pocatello Paranormal, and I am continuing my travel with being in Virginia City and visiting different areas. So, last time we talked, I talked about the Washoe and one of my favorite places. The next place I want to talk about is the Mackay Mansion there at the town site. You come in and it's like, it's just gorgeous. Interesting enough, this was built in 1859 by a man named John Randolph Hearst. He built it. He was a grandfather of newspaper. I don't remember a lot of the details of history, but here we are. And then in 1811, maybe 1871, John Mackay bought it, and he actually used that as his operation, a home, an office. Interesting, Mr. Mackay, he was a Irish immigrant who came over to stake his claim, and he went from $4 a day to being one of the richest men on earth with the silver strike. So he was one of the very well-to-do men. So when I visited this Mackay mansion, the first thing that I had the impression was how beautiful the grounds were. And just the beautiful flowers, everything. This building is quite wonderful. You walk in and Mr. Mackay is definitely there. He watches everything. It's like he's still working in the operations of mining and business. He makes himself known. You can hear his footsteps. You can get a glimpse of his shadow or his apparition. You can catch a lot of his EVPs. Sometimes they're kind of off and weird, but he definitely makes himself known. There's also a continuous replay of two people who tried to rob him. It didn't go so well. But it's just like a Groundhog Day replay. These two are still trying to rob the safe of the silver, and it's like they get up and they do it again. They get up and they do it again, and they get up and they do it again. So it's like, yeah. It's interesting. That's the impression I got. The other person that I got when I walked through the Mackay mansion was a well-off woman. She's very, very socialite lady, very proper. She makes sure everybody is doing what they're supposed to be doing in the mansion, and that includes the volunteer help. If they're messing with things they're not supposed to, she will let them know. People sometimes will get her shadow. They would smell her perfume. They'll also hear her footsteps of her and John Mackay as well. You could get a lot of footsteps there. There is also times where people will get a picture of her looking out the window of the mansion. And it's crazy. People think ghosts wear white and black, but I will tell you they are pretty fashionable. But it's, again, a ghost only lets you see what they want you to see. So some people perceive them as differently than others. So she has, to me, that day that I encountered her, she was wearing like a nice, beautiful green, kind of emerald green dress. But she dressed very fancy, very well off and well-to-do. So that was pretty interesting. And I went to the back stairs where you go downstairs, and there is a dining room off to the left. Of course, it's roped off a little bit. Now remember, Mackay Inn is a bed and breakfast now, and so we're only allowed to see a little bit of these rooms. But I was walking down those stairs, and I had a feeling that I needed to snap a picture. I'm glad I did, because when I got home, I caught a cowboy, and he actually had the cowboy hat. You could see his face. He had a narrow nose and a mustache, and I couldn't see really very much of the rest of him, but I definitely caught him. You can hear him. I'd rather he's one of the robbers maybe that are walking around, but I got the impression that he was just a friend or one of the miners that maybe have hit it big. I don't know for sure who he was. And of course there's the children. They do run amok up and down the stairs. You can hear them singing, you can hear them playing. You get their EVPs. They love to play with, things upstairs. Like there is a doll that this little girl is attached to. She loves to play with it, and she does move it, kind of creeps out the helpers. Sometimes they don't like that. But yeah, it's interesting. My impressions of the Mackay, and it is so beautiful, and I would love to go and see it again and see what other impressions I can get. And I love to hear other people's impressions of this place and what they've caught. There is a lot of energy, a lot of residual energy. I can't say that very well. And then there's, very, very intelligent energy that like to protect. We always have to remember that these spirits believe that they're still living the same time. And so when we go visit them, or things are going on and they don't understand, like we're crossing into two different worlds, we have to remember that they look at us just like, who are you in my house and what are your dealings here? That's pretty much what I got. But so I guess my point is, it's, be respectful when we go into places like this, because even to the relics that have been brought into this home, we need to be respectful of them, because this is technically still their home. Whether they're dead or not, it is their home. So with that, guys, Mackay Mansion definitely gave me a lot of interesting feelings, and I did really like the lady in the parlor room, and I loved her strong sense of energy that she gave, and she's very watchful. And the kids, there's playful kids, definitely. I know that the oldest kid, I believe, is a little girl, and she likes to mess around a lot more and play tricks. So interesting enough, guys. But yeah, that is my trip, and I am going to have one more on Virginia City, just because I'd like to talk about it. So much there to do. So if you guys are planning a visit there, definitely do it, because all the proceeds go to taking care of the buildings and, to help pay the staff that love the building and wants to educate people of these places. So, sorry, I have an itch. But yeah, don't forget that we have a new live show Thursday night at 7, and we're going to talk about some weird paranormal stuff that I didn't think was possible, but it is. I hope you guys enjoy it. It's going to be weird. And don't forget, Wednesday nights is the Speaking of Spirits. So jump on, see if you can get an answer about a question. Okay, guys? Okay. Don't forget, we're on Rumble. We're on YouTube. And as always, take care of you, because you're the only ones here to like and subscribe. Thanks, guys. Take care. Bye.